Hi there, I'm Alex, and I'm going to teach you how to play blues with a little bit of jazz influence, some walking bass and some chords. And yeah, we'll get right into it. If you like what you're seeing so far, please like and subscribe. It helps me make more content and inspires me to make new videos. All right, so for starters, I'll talk about our left hand here with a walking bass. I assume you have some piano knowledge. If not, I have other videos that start more at the basics. But we're going to be playing a C jazz blues here. And for starters, I'll just kind of walk through a walking bass line like that. And with this, I'm just outlining a C chord and walking up some of the main chord tones. So start on the root C, the third E, the fifth G, and then I walk up to the sixth A, up to our flat 7, B flat, and then down the same way, A, G, E, C. So we can kind of start just playing that. With that, we can add a chord to it. I like this voicing here. Here I've got a B flat with my thumb. Then I'm playing a D here, an E, and an A. And that becomes the flat 7, the 9, the 3rd, and the 6th on top. So it's kind of like a C7, 6, 9 chord. And we can play that with that walking bass line. It's already sounding kind of good. You can kind of break up the notes in the right hand. You can move it up an octave. Cool. So we're already making some music. We already have something we can play with. So now we're gonna take that same idea and apply it to our 4 chord. And it has basically the same pattern, except we start on the F with our pinky. When we walk up, the shape looks pretty much the same. So we got our F is our root, A is our 3rd, C is our 5th, D is our 6th, and E flat is our flat 7, all for our F chord. So that's the walking bass line for the F chord. And then for the chord in the right hand, I like to do this voicing. And you'll notice it's kind of easy to go from the C voicing to the F voicing. That's by design. It's a good voice leading, meaning where our notes aren't moving too much. And with that, it makes it easier for us to play. We're not having to jump around a bunch. So for that F chord, I'm playing A here, a D, an E flat, and a G. And that makes the 3rd, the 6th, the flat 7th, and the 9 on top. And it's kind of nice having these little crunches in here. There's a little minor 2nd sound in there. Brings some dissonance into your chord, but we're still playing chord tones, so it still sounds nice. So you can kind of hang out on the F for a little while and get used to that. Maybe go back to the C. I'll go back to the F. C. All right, so the next chord in our blues is going to be our 5 chord, G. And it has a similar walking bass pattern. The only difference is it doesn't have any black keys in it. No sharps or flats. looks like that. So G, B, D, E, F. And then walking down the same way. And again, that's just like all the two chords before. That's our root, third, fifth, sixth, flat seventh. And then for our chord in the right hand, looks like this. All third spacings. And that's a G9 chord. So, and all these chords we're playing in the right hand are rootless because the bass is taking care of the root for us. So that's a B, a D, an F, and an A, which is our third, fifth, flat seventh, and ninth of our G chord. Okay, so now that we have the bass line and the chord for each chord in our blues, we can play it all the way through. So I'm going to go 12 bar blues with a quick 4 and just kind of show you what that looks like. As you're practicing this, you can start just chords in the right hand maybe, and then basically do the hands separately at first. Makes it a little easier. It takes some time to be able to do both hands at the same time, but I'll let you practice that on your own, and I'll just kind of demonstrate what this could look like. So here we go. Whoops, messed up a little bit there. Let's do that one more time. Cool. All right, so we're already making some cool sounds. And then another thing I could like to do is, that's our main pattern for walking the bass in the left hand, but in the beginning of this video I did something like this. So that's a different line. And basically I start on C, and I'm walking down, basically hitting our chord tones from the other direction, and then that leads me to F, and then I do kind of a chromatic walk to C. I'll show that one more time. So C, B flat, A, G, and then I switch to the F chord in the right hand, F, E flat, D, D flat, C. So that's another line you can throw into your playing. And then go back to the other stuff I was showing. So another trick we can throw in the left hand is we can kind of jump up. So say I'm going, I'll go, or we'll do that same pattern, walking down, C, F, so in there I kind of jumped up. Let me demonstrate that one more time. So walking down, whoops, down to F, C, F, so kind of was showing you can kind of jump up sometimes from, instead of just going up like this, you can jump up an octave and walk down like we were doing, and then lead into either your G or your F. It sounds better like this. So for instance, you could be doing right here up to that F. Really the main thing that we're trying to do is on each downbeat we land on the root note of the chord, and you can kind of come up with your own patterns from there. I'm just showing you some that I like to play. So that's really the fundamentals of how we walk our bass line. And we got the chords in the right hand. You can move them up octaves and keep them down, but this kind of lets you build a foundation. Maybe you have somebody else you're playing with, they can solo on top of you. And then you can also take some of your licks and throw them in between the chords. I like to break up the chords sometimes. Like I'll hit the middle notes together and then the outside notes. Get different sounds while I'm playing. And then yeah, you can throw in blues scale riffs that you got. I have another video where I go over a lot of blues scale riffs that I'll link in the description of this video. So yeah, and I'll do one here where I'm doing less chords and more just riffs so we can see what that sounds like. Cool. Then another thing we can do is we can take these chords, not down here, but more so like right here, and put them in our left hand. And it's another way to add some rhythm section for ourselves to play with and solo with in our right hand. One thing I like to do is end with this chord at the top. Hit the E, the flat 7, or B flat, and we add that sharp 9 as a nice little cherry on top. It's our E flat. So that's the main stuff I wanted to go over. I have another video where I go over a lot of the licks I was playing for all these different like scale riffs and stuff like that. But this was just to show you more of what you can do with different rhythm accompaniment, either walking bass and chords, or just chords in your left hand to accompany yourselves. You can also accompany other people as well. You can even play the same chord in both hands. So lots of things we can throw in there. Throw a little cherry on top. And one more thing that I'll do in the bass sometimes is I'll walk. See, I hit that note twice. I'll do it again on this 7. So just some more variation you can add when you're walking the bass. But like I was saying, really the main thing is you land on the root on every downbeat for each chord change, and then you can kind of start experimenting and coming up with your own bass lines. Okay, well, I hope that helps you in your playing. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or anything you'd like me to teach or dive into more. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. And I'll be making more soon. Thanks for watching.